Richie here and welcome back to the channel, my fellow drifter maniacs. Today's video is about the top 10 RC cars under $400 for Christmas 2020. At this price point, it does start to get to some really interesting stuff, and I'll try to put a wide cross section of cars in here. As ever, there's one or two Richie curveballs in terms of choices in there, but hopefully it's some thought-provoking cars in my top 10 RC cars for Christmas 2020. And I would like to say, if you agree or disagree with my choices, have your say in the comments section below the video. And if you like what you see today, don't forget to subscribe. Anyway, let's get to it with the first car, which is...
Well, the first one is one of Richie's curveballs. Is the Redcap Cagey 1/8 scale 6S monster truck. This thing is growing on me. I know the RCU Next Tuesday boys on YouTube absolutely love this thing. There is a lot to like about this. It's got lights both front and rear, but more to the point, it looks built to bash. If you take a close look at these pictures, the A-arms all round appear fairly beefy. It's got threaded big bore shocks, good power plant, 2100 kV brushless motor, 150 amp ESC, which is comparable with the Armours on there, 25 kilo Hexfly digital servo, which is one of the ones that yours truly uses and recommends, adjustable suspension, adjustable wheelie bar, and neat little features like tethered body clips on there. And there's an absolutely fantastic video of the truck in action showing all its features on the Redcap website, which I'll leave you to look at in your own time. And as I say, first caught my attention when I saw the RCU Next Tuesday boys running it online, and at just below $400 for a 6S monster truck certainly catches the eye. Link to it below the video. See, we have the LMT four-wheel drive solid axle monster truck. This is the roller version. Now on the Losi site, it's $500.99. However, A-Main are taking pre-orders at $300.99, and I would point out it's a roller, it's not a kit, so it's not like a bare builder's kit. However, it being a roller, you are going to need electrics, 130 amp or more ESC, brushless motor, 3S or 4S LiPo charger and transmitter and receiver to get this running. And you're also going to need a monster truck body set. And when I clicked on this monster truck body set here, it really caught my attention because these are all of the bodies that you can get for it on the A-Main hobby site. I'm giving you an outstanding range of options out on there, and it's those bodies that really caught my eye on this one. I also know from seeing the videos done by CCXRC, this truck is tremendously capable, and CCXRC is doing a great build of his roller at the minute, so certainly a worthy contender on our list. I'll put a link to it below the video. 4S BLX version does 50 miles an hour pretty much straight out of the box. If you like the idea of an outcast but you can't stretch to the expense of the 6S one and the expense of the batteries etc that goes with it, then this could definitely be the car for you. Probably one of the best dollar for dollar bashers out there in this sub $400 market, but it's got some fairly stiff competition, as we will see today. If you go to the Armour Giga site, you will find an outstanding amount of information and videos on here, which I'll leave you to watch in your own time. This is considerably better, I would say, in my opinion, than the 3S BLX cars. A lot more to like about this in terms of the upgrades and strength of the car overall. And if you're considering buying something like an Armour Granite 3S BLX, this handy slider shows you the difference in size of the Outcast 4S model on there. Now I would point out at this point, while it appears stronger than the 3S BLX versions on here, you have only got a plastic chassis on here. You've not got a metal chassis like on the Outcast 6S. Just something to be aware of, but certainly a very worthy contender at this price. And it fits within our price point of sub $400. I'll put a link to it at A-Main below the video. Well, next we have something that I think represents an awful lot of RC car for the money at $349.99. It's the Kyosho Inferno 1/8 scale nitro buggy. I would say ready to run, but you are going to need some nitro fuel and a nitro starter kit, but you're still going to be well under $400 to get you up and running with this car. It is a nitro 1/8 scale buggy. Is the one thing I've never owned, and the one RC car I would always like to own. I one day promised myself I would buy a top-of-the-line Kyosho Inferno 1/8 buggy to build up and buy the engine, etc, etc, because the top-of-the-line cars have won multiple world championships, so this has got a really, really good heritage in there. My friend JDPSL on YouTube has recently bought one of these, and having watched those, I think I'm talking myself into buying one of these in the new year. But if you've not tried nitro before, then certainly a 1/8 buggy is definitely going to be a great first introduction, particularly at that price point of $349.99 from A-Main. I'll put a link to it below the video. The Traxxas Rustler VXL shows us $419, but more on that in just a minute. Now this was an all new platform when it was launched, so you've got all new chassis on here, neat features on it like the self-righting, which some people either love or hate. Personally, I quite like it. Saves me walking 300 feet to kick the car back upright. clipless body mounting, just like the Max and the X Max, and but best of all, and why it is so high up on this list, 65 plus miles an hour top speed on a thing. This is a little pocket rocket. It's not the hugest of trucks on here, but it handles relatively well, and it's an absolute blast to drive, and certainly one of the best bashers that Traxxas make, to my mind. But that speed is what predominantly puts it up in this list. Combined with low cost parts, and I think it's fairly durable despite what some people may say about Traxxas. And the price, yours for $399.95 from A-Main, and it's available in 3 or 4 different colours, but this is the one that I had it in, and that's my personal preference. Link to it below the video. Just remember guys, if you like what you see today, don't forget to subscribe. It's not at the top of the list though, it's this one here right down at the bottom, the Big Rock. So why is the Big Rock 4x4 3S BLX on the list? Well, it's got 50 plus mile an hour performance. This version is much improved over the other one in terms of its handling. I own the earlier version of this. I've driven my friend Fog City RCs, and it handles very well indeed. The on-the-ground handling has been much improved by changes to the dimension of the car, and in Fog City RC's hands, this thing jumps like an absolute demon in the air. Now, if you quickly dive in to the Big Rock V3 Gigasite on the armour thing, you will see not only has it got 50 mile an hour top speed, but we'll drill down quickly, look at some of the features on here. Things like the castellated slipper clutch on here have carried over from the 4S car. So this car now has a lot of the features found on the 4S car, but at a 3S price of just under $320. Wider stance, so it now corners much better indeed. Anyway, I do feel it's an awful lot of truck for the money at just under $320. So while it is not as fast as the Rustler at 65 miles an hour, it's 50 mile an hour top speed for $320. A lot of bang for your buck. Link to it below the video. Well, next up, we have the JLB Racing Cheetah. This is the 120 amp version. I will say, even the stock 80 amp version takes 4S. So if you're wanting an alternative to an Armour Outcast that is mainly built on metal parts, as you will see in a minute, then the JLB Racing Cheetah could be the one for you. I've had the 80 amp version of this car, which is an absolute hoot to drive, endless wheelies, and will backflip with the best of them on there. The 120 amp one, I'm assured, is even more of an absolute blast to drive. Zooming in here, you will see you've got just about metal everything. Metal track rods, metal drive shafts, big bore threaded metal shocks, metal shock towers, metal centre brace. There's actually a metal chassis lurking under this brushless setup on here. Everything metal at the back, wheelie bar, etc. on there. So if you like the idea of a 4S car, but maybe the plastic in the Armour Outcast 4S is putting you off, the JLB Cheetah, to my mind, is definitely worth considering. Comes with 2 batteries for this price of $395.89 from Banggood. I'll put a link to it below the video. And had I not just finished building a no-prep drag racing car, this car I would have already bought. It is a Team Associated DR10 ready-to-run car. If you look on the website here, it's $375, but completely out of stock on there. But more in that in a second, as I have found a good source. Lots of pictures on the Team Associated site, now available in 3 different colours. Purple is new, which is very eye-catching to my mind. It's ready to run, but you will need to purchase a battery and charger with it, but you could do that with a squeeze and just about fit under the $400 budget. Lots to like about this car, and coming from Team Associated, it's sure to be very well built indeed. Where to get it in stock? Well, if you go to the A-Main website, it's in stock at $375.99 in 3 of the colours that Team Associated sell it in, but I am quite liking that purple. I think that really pops out at me. This is certainly very appealing to me, and with an explosion in no-prep drag racing in Northern America this year, I would say this should be well towards the top of your Christmas list. Link to it below the video. For 3S BLX, 50 mile an hour plus top speed, yours for $319.99. Why is this so high up the list? Well, I have an absolute love for the 6S Typhon. I've owned all 4 versions, and I'm going to get a V5 after Christmas. I've driven one of these 3S ones, and the handling on it, it's just like a miniature version of the bigger brother. That 50 plus mile an hour top speed, you can re-gear this thing and get it going well over 65 miles an hour without too much effort at all. The one thing I would say, if you're wanting to make this go lots faster, save your money and buy a 6S Typhon instead. There's a lot more car for the money, but there is a lot to like about this. It's great for taking for a bash, great for going for a high-speed blast, and it corners like it's on rails. And for that reason, I like it above the Granite and the Senton 3S BLX. It's the way this thing handles that does it for me, even though a lot of the car under the skin is the same as the Granite and the Senton. It's the way this thing is set up, the stance of it, the wheels, the tyres, etc. that makes it work for me. As ever, Armour have got a great little Giga site where there's lots of videos which can show you all of the features, and once again, much like the Big Rock, the V3 version of this features a lot of items carried over from the 4S range of cars, and I think it represents huge value for money at AMain at $319.99, and if you order it from them, you are likely to get it in time for Christmas. I'll put a link to the car below the video. So under $400 for Christmas 2020, it is the Armour Limitless. Yes, it's a roller, but it's available for $399.99. And if you drill down into the Giga site and you look at the videos on here, you will want to get your checkbook out and buy one of these cars. Virtually identical under the skin to the Infraction. However, where it comes into its own is with the aerodynamics both at the front and the rear. Once this thing gets moving, it sticks to the road like glue. And I think if you've got $400 to spend at the minute, there are very few cars, if any, that can get close to touching what the Limitless can do in terms of speed and handling, etc. on there. Obviously, it all depends where you're going to drive your RC car. If you've mainly got grass and parkland around you, then the Limitless is not for you. But if you've got access to good blacktop, then you're going to have an absolute blast with the Limitless. Yeah, it's a roller, but given that price point, it is still a huge amount of car for the money. Your budget for the electrics is the only limit to your imagination as to what the top speed and things you can do with this car. It's in stock at AMain, yours for Christmas. If you order it today, link to it below the video.
Well, hopefully there was something there for everyone in my top 10 RC cars for Christmas 2020. Hopefully I come up with some thought-provoking choices, maybe something unusual that you might think, I might give that a try, Richie. Anyway, we'll link to all the cars below the video. Hope you liked what you saw today. If you did, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
Well, thumbs up if you like this video, guys. Post any comments you might have in the comment section below the video and hit the circle below to subscribe. And if you do hit the circle, don't forget to hit the bell.